What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Everyday Builds. Today is day 15 of me working on my house every day until I finish all of my home renovations. And in the last video, you saw me mill up all of this walnut, which I'm going to be using to make a box post to go around a stanchion pole in my basement. And the next thing that I have to do, and in this video what I hope to accomplish, is basically assembling the actual box post. So in this video I need to get everything kind of down to its final dimensions on the table saw, and then take it over to the miter saw to get everything to its final length. And then from there, I'm going to be assembling the box to go around the post with some dominoes and some glue. And hopefully I'll have all of that put together by the end of this video. And then from there, move on to the trim work that I have to do on it and finish. All right, I've got all of my pieces cut out now and trimmed to their final length and width. And now I just need to join them. So this one's going to be what I'm going to call a face piece. So it will have boards connecting to the back of it. This will be the back, this will be the face. So I'm going to put it face down like that. And then this board is going to be one of those that's going to connect, on the back of it like this. So this is just going to be a standard butt joint. You could 45 them and connect it that way, which gives it kind of that solid wood look, but I really don't mind a butt joint, and it just makes it a lot easier to connect the two. And I'm going to be doing that with the domino. So all I have to do is go down, mark all the locations of my domino across these two boards, and then I'll mortise in a pocket right here and into here, and these will then connect all the way down. And these will just really help kind of keep the edges in alignment while I do the glue up. And then it'll be really cool when I go to install this. I'm basically going to put on both sides, be able to slide this whole thing around the pole, and then I'll have all of my domino locations already in these two pieces and that other face piece. So that way I'll be able to slide on one side and then just put the face side on as well. And that should keep everything in alignment. And then I can just clamp it right around the pole, and it should make it so that I don't have to sand a whole lot, and everything should line up really well. So I'm going to do that now. So as I've shown in past videos, and if you've been on YouTube for more than 5 seconds looking at anything woodworking, you've probably seen the Festool domino, which creates a mortise with that bit that pops out. It's going to put a mortise into each piece of wood, into this one, and then these will be inserted into that mortise, tying the two pieces together. It's not really for strength, it's more for alignment. So it's just a really handy thing to have. If you don't have something like this, then that is totally fine. You can use nails, you can use pocket screws, you can just glue it with some clamps, but I really like this method, and that's what I'm going to be using right now. Just a quick test fit, make sure that I'm all set up, and now I can do the rest of these without having to worry about anything being off or anything like that. about half of the dominoes done. I'm going to wait to do the other half until I'm going to put 3 of the sides together and then I think carry it down into the basement. That should be enough friction to hold everything together to get it down in there, and then just see how this fits into place. I had to add in some supports at the top and the bottom of the post, which I'll show you in a second, but I just want to kind of put this dry assembly together and then take this into the basement and see if it's going to work down there, because the post that I have, the stanchion post in my basement, isn't plumb, so I'm going to have to kind of shim this thing a little bit. So I'm just going to put it together right now like this. Actually, I might carry these pieces down into the basement first, put it together down there, and then kind of raise it into place. I think is probably the best option. Or I don't know. I'm just going to put it together right here and then head down to the basement and see what we're working with. And one thing that I did do that you definitely can't see on camera is I labeled which side goes to which. So these mortises on this side, I put B. I have my B over here, my A over here, and then I put C, D on the sides that I haven't mortised yet, just so that this can get very confusing and you forget which way things go. So it just helps keep everything in order. All right, so I'm gonna head down to the basement and go kind of dry fit this in place like I was just saying. But after that, I'll come back and basically I can put all of my domino locations along these 2 edges. And then obviously this one will kind of finish everything off right on top. And then from there, I'll just have to kind of sand everything down, install into the basement. And then I think I'm gonna do like some trim skirting along at least the bottom, if not the top as well. And then we should have a nice wrapped pole. All right, I've got the box post sitting there, but I wanted to show you what I did around this. This is the pole I'm trying to cover here. I built these little supports that just go around this post just to add as like an anchoring point at the top. Put some lags into the 2x4 up here, and then did one in the bottom here as well. Put some concrete tapcons into the floor, and then, well, I cut around the floating floor because you don't want to pin that down in case it needs to expand and contract with seasonal movement. The only issue I have is that this pole it's plumb this way, but it is not plumb this way. And I will show you what I mean in a second here. I'm going to go ahead and slide this into place, and then I'll show you kind of how it fits and what my current issue is. All right, so I'll try to show you here. It's kind of hard to see with the sun coming in right now. So this got the laser level set up, which is going to give us a nice level line all the way up to the top here. You can see right at the bottom, I've got it right on the corner. But if you work your way up, you can see that that line is about a 1/2 inch in, but it should be right on this corner as well. So the whole thing is kind of leaning that way, about a 1/2 inch. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, with these supports, I need to basically pop this off and take a 1/2 inch off of this side and add it to this side, and then that will get it into plumb, because, you know, it's hard to tell to, you know, just to your eye that it's off, but I think I'm going to go to trim around the bottom, and I feel like I'm going to fight with that if this isn't, you know, as plumb as can be. So it's not that hard of a fix. Like I said, I can just unscrew that. This side will come right off. And I'll just kind of plane down another 2x4, put that back on, and then we should be good. So here is the old side of that support, and here's the new piece that I'm going to put up. So took a 1/2 inch off, just ran it through the planer a few times, and this should allow me to get that post nice and plumb now. Now you can see with this smaller side playing down a bit, we now are nice and plumb. So now I just gotta basically put a shim, or, you know, find whatever, about a 1/2 inch piece to put in there now, and then we should be good to finish up this post. All right, so now that I know everything is going to fit down there and we've got everything plumb and good to go, I can now do the rest of my mortise and tenons with the domino behind me. And then from there, I think I'll end the day by gluing up one side, which I'll talk about after I get all of the dominoes done. All right, so now I have all of the dominoes are done, and I can go ahead and start gluing this up. I'm just gonna glue on one side. This bottom side is actually not glued yet. I'm just using it to basically hold everything in place and square. And it also works well, like if I didn't have this bottom piece on, these could kind of flex in and out. So keeping that on there, I'm gonna put glue on both of these edges, put the top on, and then I'll flip this down, use all these clamps to clamp this side, and then I'll put more clamps on the top. So this is going to be the last thing I do today. I just want to get this glued up, and then tomorrow I can come back. I'll have basically be ready to install it in the basement. I'll probably sand it first, and then basically have to decide if I want to try and finish it in here or finish it once it's installed, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. So just going to get this glued up, and that will be it for today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Mm-hmm.